And we are officially live. Hello to all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there. And welcome back to the NXTilosos, the sexiest NXT review show here on BC WrestlePod. And it's been a hot minute, but we are back in full effect. Of course, my name is Mikey, and joined with me this evening is the Pleat Father himself, the Kilt Man,
Ha!
who I'm very happy that he is still going to be around.
Oh yeah, I'm like herpes. You won't be able to get rid of me.
No, so it'll be me and Kilt holding it down for NXT. Working behind the scenes to recruit some new folks, but we'll let you know when we get there. But we are here to talk about the Tuesday, May 12th edition of NXT. So before I get into all of that, of course, I'm just going to make this intro quick. We go live here at YouTube, Twitch, and Kick throughout the week. So make sure you get those notifications ready so you can hear us go live. But you can also catch our edited reviews that go up 24 hours later on our main YouTube channel at BC Wrestle Pod, which is great. And it is a fun time. So whatever you want to watch, it's great. If you're looking for something more self contained, you can pick your favorite social media site. We're probably on there at BC Wrestle Pod, where you see all the report cards and the predictions and the clips and all the other stuff that I do for the social medias. So it is a grand time as well. Of course, you can also support us by buying our merch, bcwrestlepodshop.forthwall.com. And last but certainly not least, we have a coffee bot that will be popping up every couple of minutes in the YouTube and the Twitch chat to help us continue funding our shenanigans and our tomfoolery. But it is not necessarily because we know that economic times are a butt out here. So please donate if you can, but if not, just you giving us the watch hours is enough. Honestly, without you, we cannot do this, and I appreciate and love every single one of you. All right, let's get into NXT because we are in the midst of I don't even want to say rebrand. We are entering a new era, is how I'm going to put it. We're entering a new era of NXT, of in the sense of who is going to be around over the next year or two. You know, we had a lot of people get called up. Supposedly, according to reports, we might be getting more call ups from NXT to main roster during the summer. But for right now, we have a really good crop of new kids on the block, a lot of European and international talent debuting in NXT as well. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of them this particular episode. So, without further ado, let the trial commence.
I did it better. I just swallowed a spicy ramen noodle the wrong way.
Giggity. Anyway,
Giggity.
giggity. All right, let's get into this. So we kick NXT off this week with a tag team match. Of course, this is our women's NXT North American champion, Miss Tatum Paxley, Miss Tatum Ta, teaming up with the incredible Lizzie Rain, and they are taking on the team of Nikita Lyons and Zarya. Um, Nikita Lyons coming out full Catwoman cosplay with this lion mask is great. Loved it. Fantastic. Um, I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. I think these four, I think, are going to be really fun for right now in the mid card division, and I'm kind of here for it. I love Lizzie Rain. I have known her in her former life as Rain Leverkusen over in the Indies of the UK and Progress Wrestling. Hell, she was a former Progress Women's Champion, which we love to see, and that was recently too. Really also fun to see Zarya, Nikita Lyons, like, in the mix of all this. I thought this was a really fun match, and I will say, I am still loving Lizzie Rain's finisher because I am a sucker for unique finishers, and Thunderstruck is fantastic. And you know what? Good on Tatum and Lizzie for picking up the win here after Zarya walks out of Nikita, which essentially leaves her to fend for herself, but she's overwhelmed. Anywho, I like this match. I had a good time. I thought this was a fun way to open up the show. Kilt, how did you feel about the match? And overall, how do we feel about, our mid cards division so far, looking with these four kind of going to be running around it?
I'm enjoying what I was watching last night. Zarya still showing strong. still showing the after effects of the feud with Sol Ruka, and the I want to be by myself, leave me the fuck alone type of mentality. Um, Nikita did a great job. I loved the extra, the over the topness that she had. Lizzie does need some work on her promos, I think, and just like a lot of her emoting is the best way to put it, because there's a couple bits later in the night that she did that it didn't resonate well, for at least for me, and it came down a little bit canned, uh, and so there was that. Um, but this was really cool, and the funny thing is, if you look closely in the audience, you'll see another technically two relatively famous, well, one really famous and one relatively famous wrestling content creator. Alan Owens was in audience tonight.
We love that.
It was so cool. I was like, the only reason I knew he was there is because he was there for Backlash, and a buddy of mine met up with Fatherless, met up with him uh, at Backlash, and then they did a watch along for Raw here locally in Orlando at a place called the Aloma Theater, which is like a dine-in theater, and they did that, and then they did NXT last night together, and I'm like, I'm watching. I streamed it within his community, and so I'm sitting there, streaming with like two or three other people watching the show, and we're like, okay, where is he? Where is he? Oh, there he is! There he is! We just keep screen grabbing Fatherless next to Alan Owens. Look at this schmoozer! So yeah, that was fun to notice. Really, the first instance I saw it was when Nikita went to go into the ring. She's bent over and like, here's my ass, because she has a great one. But yeah, this was as I said, it was an interesting match. There's definitely some work to be done here. Tatum has always got my love. She does amazing. Zarya's just a powerhouse, and I'm loving everything she's doing. Lizzie's finisher it's actually really cool. She went on Bubba Ray Dudley's podcast to talk about it, and yeah, and it's not there's a move that's similar to it, but it's not like, and the move that is similar is it uses the foot. She uses the side of her knee, like right in the thigh, to kick. If you watch closely, and it's fantastic. It's so cool. It's so unique. I'm loving every minute of it. This whole match was just a whole lot of fun to watch, and I enjoyed it. And it set a good tone for the rest of the night.
Most definitely. So, of course, we will come to Tatum and Lizzie a little bit later in the show because we see them. But a fun way to open up the show. Now, after this match, though, we get a little bit of some backstage stuff happening. Of course, we have Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray talking about Ren's match with Kalani Jordan later on in the night, and how L- Ren tells Kendall that she needs to focus, and then Lola comes in. Her and Kendall have a little bit of like friendly banter slash friendly beefing, but then again, like I said, Ren tells Kendall that she's gonna need to focus before she can get a chance back at that women's championship to get a chance at it. She's gonna have to get through Kalani and make sure she wins tonight. So the NXT women's division is on and popping. We are having some folks around Lola's title. And yeah, so we're setting some things up in both women's divisions, which I love. So more on Kendall and Ren and Lola a little bit later in the show. Alrighty. So Kilt Man, Mr. Fleetfather, was very excited when this person debuted not too long ago, and now we get the in-ring debut.
I mean,
Mr.
Hold on, let me interrupt. But I think we all were excited for him.
Well,
were you not excited for the Evil Incarnate to be with NXT?
Well, okay. Let me get through the match, and then I'll give my thoughts first.
Okay.
So this is the in-ring debut of Naraku, which, of course, anybody who knows wrestling, this is Io's fiance. Yeah, this is Io and him are a thing. So
I did not know that.
I love it when I can surprise folks. But yeah, Io and Naraku are actual IRL fiancés, so we love to see them. And then this was his in-ring debut against Lince Dorado. Very quick 5-minute match to show what he can do. Naraku wins. Post match, and the camera says that he is here in NXT and he is pure evil. And I rolled my eyes. I'm like, I see what we did there.
He did really good. He was a bit stiff.
Well, it's gonna take a while to shake the New Japan off of him, to be completely honest with you, because this is where my eye roll comes from, because I was just like, now it is just him in NXT, so I don't have to worry about House of Torture shenanigans. So
yeah, there's that. But and then I was commenting about this. This was actually a conversation I had last night. There's so many different styles of wrestling. The New Japan style of wrestling is going to be completely different than the Americans. The lucha style in Mexico is going to be different than the American style of lucha. Even in Europe with Progress and all them and Strong Style and all that, yada yada yada. There's a lot of different styles of wrestling. Yeah, he was a little stiff for for the American standards, because let's be honest, here at BC WrestlePod, our standard is everything, because we watch everything. Well, you watch everything. I just watch whatever I can catch.
I have a high standard of wrestling.
Yes, you do. Excuse me.
Damn.
Anyway, yeah, I'm good at that. But no, it's he seemed a little stiff, but that's because that's just his style of wrestling from where he's come from. In all honesty, it's perfectly fine. He just has to learn to and adapt a little bit, which probably, man, sorry, the spicy ramen's getting to me. And so it's going to be a great time for him. I'm absolutely loving everything that he's doing. This match could have been better staged with someone else, because you're putting someone that's more of that has the New Japan style wrestling against a proper luchador, and I'm like, that it doesn't seem that the matchup didn't seem to fit personally. Like, it was still a great match. I still loved it, but I felt like if you thrown someone else in there, like if you had maybe thrown, I don't know, Josh Briggs or who else is good? Yes, Rick, I too want Kyrie.
We all do.
But it's kind of, it was okay. I want to go on a side tangent for a moment about that, because they released Kairi Sane, and then immediately maybe a week and a half later, Asuka retires from WWE.
Or at least is taking a break. Who knows?
Thank you, Casket
Tepki.
Okay, I was like, I think I know how to say that. I'm just gonna say Cask and leave it at that. Anyway, because I don't like fucking up people's names. That's rude. Fuck, what was I bitching about? Oh yeah, so they didn't. It's like they release her, and then Asuka goes away, and like, well, there goes your salary cap. You could have just had a whole turn right there. You could have had a whole redemption thing right. Whatever. Okay, cool. But hey, but back to NXT, because this is more important. I'm looking forward to things that he's going to be doing in the future. He's going to be obviously he's going to be feuding with Tony D'Angelo. My brain kept trying to say Tony Saints for whatever reason.
Not Tony Saints.
Yeah, I know. Um,
Like, yo, Rick, I agree. They should have at least let Kyrie finish the storyline.
I agree. It should have been. Unfortunately, we have what we have, and now we have what we have.
We unfortunately have to move on with our lives. Like we
Yeah,
have to move on with our next segment.
I was going to say this is going. Our next segment is going to be great too.
Is it though? It is actually. Because I like all four of these gentlemen. So backstage, we get Sean Legacy, EK Prosper, and newcomer to NXT, Mr. Tate Wilder. Yes, that is his name. Um, and they are preparing themselves for their match against Birthright coming up very soon. And then walks in Mr. Dorian Von Dukes, aka formerly known as Mike DeVecchio, Mike D. And he says that he will be back in NXT. He just needs to wait one more week. And then he is back in this NXT locker room. And he wishes the team of Legacy, EK, and Tate to kick Birthright's ass as they all head out. And I'm like, I like Mike D. I'm hoping he gets more screen time in NXT because I think Mike DeVecchio is a really great wrestler. But I really do like all of these four here, both Mike D and our evolved individuals or formerly evolved individuals because now they're in NXT full time.
Tate is a unique person. I love him. He's great. I was enjoying watching him, and I was enjoying watching when he was on Evolve. Well, let me be clear. I was enjoying watching him when he would do the dark matches before NXT,
Mm-hmm.
and I was enjoying all sorts of other stuff I've seen of him. He's unique. He's good. So with what Tony with Mike D coming back next week, I'm gonna be in for a good show if I get to go. Just based off of what I remembering, this was an interesting match to say the least. I know we haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, I'm still hung up on the name change for Eli Knight. I don't like it.
I know, friend. I know. But like everything, we just kind of got to roll with it. Alrighty. So we're going to talk about these boys a little bit later. Yo, if they pair Natty up with Jada Parker, I'm kind of here for that because Natty is giving an interview for LFG because she's on season 3 of LFG. And Jada Parker's like, yo, girl, let's talk. And Natty tells her, if you want to talk, then maybe you should get on season 3 of LFG. I'm like, damn, Natty. Anywho, very interesting that we are, you know, putting Natty and Jada together in this storyline. So I'm like, okay, let's see where it goes.
Yeah, this is weird. Miss Parker, soon to be Miss J. Ooh, so that was I didn't like this. I honestly did not like the segment. It's to be honest with you, it felt really forced. It felt relatively disrespectful to the product they're trying to do with LFG, and to sit there and pick a fight right then and there while in the attempts to record something, it just did not. I didn't like it. I would love to see these two go after it, but yes, he be yeeting that every chance he gets. Because I would be too. Anywho, I would love. I definitely. I would love to see these two go at it. And yeah, this kind of gives them a strong start, but it doesn't. It just felt really forced. It felt really. It just felt real disrespectful to LFG as an entity within the WWE universe.
You say it's being disrespectful, but WWE has disrespected LFG. They released Tara May Steele, one of their season 1 winners. So I'm like, LFG don't matter.
It doesn't matter to. It's still to me. It's just like you're trying to build up something
There's
Yeah,
too many crossover stuff. Like, so let's just stick to one thing.
exactly. Well, with LFG, it's ridiculous because you want to throw them into NXT, you want to throw them into Evolve. You don't do anything for for the main side, obviously, because you don't want to put them up there. But like, trying to mix a pot that is that doesn't look that's not like congealing well.
No. So we'll see what ends up happening with Jada and Natty. We got to keep this going though, because we get into our second match of the evening, in which we were talking about. We have Sean Legacy, EK Prosper, and Tate Wilder taking on Birthright in the form of Uriah Connors, Stax, and Charlie Dempsey. Um, I can't believe I'm saying this because I still hate the name Birthright, and everybody in Birthright is a scrub. But I think this is probably my favorite match of the entire night. I think these six, given more time, I honestly think this is your men's championship division down the line in like 2 years or so. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. I had fun with this match. This was really good action from everyone. Some good tag team and trios action. And Tate Wilder turning heel in the middle of his debut by telling Sean and EK he's got it, when in fact, spoiler alert, he don't got it, and he gets double kicked for the pin.
Yeah, it's not really per se turning heel. At least I would say it was. I would say
Metaphorically, yeah.
Metaphorically, yeah, but it's overconfidence of a rookie. That's what it is. So, and yes, I do look forward to seeing how White Privilege decides to keep going with their gimmick. But honestly, they need a new name.
Birthright is stupid. I hate it.
Yes, that's why I'm calling them White Privilege from now on.
Oh my god. Sorry, I'm also looking at chat too.
Yeah. See, here's like I want that. I really do want that. The only problem is Becky Lynch will not be on that team only because of the fact that she's it's Becky Lynch.
Like Rebecca
Lynch.
Yeah.
Please.
So
look, I know you have a very cheesy husband, because his name is Kobe, which is
no, Nicholas. He is in AEW now.
Hi, Nick. I miss you.
David Finlay should have gone to NXT. Hey, you know what? He could have, but they weren't going to offer. But you know what? Now he's in AEW, so tough. Anyways, so Birthright wins again. I was entertained with this match. I think all six of them have some really fun stuff and a good future ahead of them. And Tate, we go see if you survive next week. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Right. So backstage, Tatum and Lizzie are bonding. Tatum is very thankful to Lizzie teamed up with her to take on Nikita Lyons and Zarya. And so Tatum offers Lizzie a chance at the NXT Women's North American Championship next week. So then, of course, in comes our favorite, dark web aficionado and expert of all bar trivia facts. Shiloh Hill comes in, congratulates Tatum, is very friendly with Lizzie, but Shiloh Hill is also here to deliver some facts about Mr. Tristan Angels. And unfortunately, Lizzie knows Tristan from back in the UK and is annoyed as all hell that he is here, and he is annoying. And Tristan walks in and he is annoying as well. And he says that next week he's going to show Shiloh Hill that he's better than him. And I was just like, all right, Tristan, we're going to see what happens.
I've seen Tristan in a few of the dark matches before, because they did some of the Evolve taping, obviously before NXT a few times, as well as a couple other shit. I hate his gimmick. I don't like him. It annoys the shit out of me, and I can see this is where I said Lizzie needs a little bit of work on her promo, on her because especially her emotes, because she's trying to emote that she's annoyed but not pissed off, but not annoyed. Like it doesn't translate well because obviously it's an American to English type of emotation is a word, I guess. It is a bit difficult, a bit different. It's just this is where she kind of trips up a little bit, and she tries to come off annoyed, but it comes off deadpan, and it's like, okay, you need to work on that. That's great. I like that because it means you're going to try and improve later. Also, I want this Mr. NXT Universe fucking beauty pageant. Yeah. And you know who I want to win besides Shiloh Hill?
Who?
Tank.
Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious.
I would absolutely love that. I would vote for that. I would be like, the whole way.
Oh, Lord. Anyways, so it seems that we're setting up Tristan Angels and Shiloh Hill for next week. So we're going to see how that all transpires. But right now, let's get into our next part in which the Colleen have a meeting. Also hate this name, but Izzy is playing chess with Lola. And so Sean Spears gets up to leave. And she says, Nico, I need you to stay put real quick. And Sean's like, okay, I'll let you two get to it. And Izzy tells Nico that if Lola is watching that match tonight, then so am I. And basically tells Nico to be her backup for the night. I'm like, yo, Izzy is out here manipulating people, and we love to see it.
I hated this.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, but it did show something interesting, at least on my end. The interpretation of him going, the fuck are y'all talking about?
That's what I said. I was like, ooh.
Are we teasing we're going to do our own thing and splitting?
Possibly. We'll continue this development as we go along NXT. But right now, I love.
He's big. He's bad. He'll body slam your dad. Mason Rook.
So Mason Rook is in the ring, and he is here to officially sign his NXT contract and cuts a bit of a promo before he does. If y'all have not seen Will Cruz's work in Progress or in Pro Wrestling Noah, it's like what he said in his promo. He's the best in any weight, not just heavyweight division, but any weight division. So Mason's cutting this promo. Tony comes out and he's ready, looking for a fight to Mason Rook. But then Cam Hendricks comes out to beat up Tony, and we get a brawl. And then Mason Rook just casually just does a moonsault on everybody. And I was just like, Lord help us. That was a thing of beauty. So the men's NXT title division is setting up some really interesting and fun stuff. So I'm really happy to see Mason Rook here. I'm really happy for Will Cruz. I think he's fantastic. And I'm looking for, he's going to be a beast when he gets to the main roster, whenever he gets to the main roster.
I'm loving everything. He does need a little bit of mic work to make sure that he's easily understood. Because again, it's not an accent; it's a verbiage with him. Because he could say something that we could understand in Progress, but here in the U.S. it might not translate well. But that fucking moonsault, that was beautiful. I can't wait for him and Tony to go at it. I want him and Josh Briggs to go at it. I want him and fucking Naruko to go at it. I want him and give me I want him and Shiloh Hill to go at it. I want him more. Give me more. and I'm
Love it.
excited.
Yes, and I'm happy you are excited. So yeah, again, the NXT Men's Championship scene is also shaping up to be some really fun stuff. So can't wait to talk more about it as the weeks go on. All right, we keep this train going because after this particular segment, guys, Noam Dar is back, and I love me some Noam Dar. And he is here with Mr. Romeo Moreno, talking. Romeo and Noam Dar know each other from the European wrestling scene. With Noam being from where he is, and Romeo Moreno, formerly known as Zazaya from Spain. These two have crossed paths multiple times in the European wrestling scene. And Romeo Moreno is a fan of Noam Dar, and Noam Dar's like, I've been away from a ring like due to injury. I don't know if I have it in me anymore. So Romeo Moreno is hyping up Noam Dar, who is having a bit of a crisis of faith right now. We're going to talk about you a little bit later, Noam, and your actual match. But let's keep going because it was actually a really nice moment. We got to see a little bit behind the curtain of Out the Mud OTM and why they do what they do. I really did like this different take, and they're likable guys. I really do, and I was like, you know what? This was different. I wasn't expecting this, but honestly, I am okay with this because now I've liked OTM, but I was like, you know what? This is a different side, and I was like, I could get behind this. I'm cool with it.
Like I like OTM. They're a good team. They perform really well, but they come off as freaking as a they come off like if you didn't before this, they came off really as a bunch of cholos, and not in a good way. They're really thuggy. They're really blah blah blah. And then this drops, and I'm like, all right, fuck you for making me like you even more. God damn. I was already behind you, but now it's mi corazón. It's from the heart. I'm like, I want to be behind him.
I'm really rocking with OTM after this. I was like, okay, y'all are cool, and we're slowly getting there, but I think this is definitely pivoted in the direction where they need to head that we've been talking about for like the last couple of months for them because they have everything there as a team. And since their return, like them helping out Joe Hendry and all that a couple months ago, they've been leaning towards more babyface, and I think this officially puts them more on the babyface track. And honestly, I'm okay with it, and I like that. And I would like to see OTM get these tag team titles sometime this year. But this was well done. I thought this was a really fun segment and definitely gave us a different light. And I'm all aboard on hyping up and supporting OTM in their tag team efforts because y'all made me love them after this. And darn it, what wrestling, you make me feel feelings. Alrighty. After this little sit down with OTM, we get into our next match, which is Noam Dar versus Jackson Drake of the Vanity Project. I thought this was a pretty fun match for Noam Dar's return match. Of course, the numbers game just becomes too much. As we have the rest of the Vanity Project, which includes, our NXT tag champs of Smokes and Baylor, as well as Micah Lockwood, who is now joined with Vanity Project. And Jackson Drake picks up the victory over Noam Dar. So I thought it's a match that served its purpose.
I didn't like it because it didn't make Noam Dar look good. Like it made him look rusty, and I didn't like that. I didn't like, not that I'm saying he is rusty or it should have been that way.
You could say it's rusty. He's been out for a year.
Yeah, he has, and I understand that. But it's like I know he has probably been doing some training, probably try to get something in before this. It's just it makes him look weaker than he is, and I know he's not. In my heart, I know this man can perform because I saw it. I saw the wheels churning, and then it just was, oh well, we're just going to numbers game you, and I literally the entire match I was hoping someone would come out and take Noam Dar's side and take out the boys, and maybe some come out and knock out Madam.
Oh, that's fucked up, Kill. Even for your damn, she can't help it.
No. I can't, that was me trying to remember her name. because I can't remember her name anymore. It's hard for me to remember names because it's like
Micah
Micah. Okay, I kept trying to say like I was trying to say
Kayla.
Madam Lockwood, and I just kept going. What's her first name? Is it? It's that's all, folks. Because that's what happens when I start stuttering. I just go straight into Porky Pig. Because again, I couldn't remember her name. So I was like, I'm sitting. I'm like, I think it's Lockwood. Is it Rockwood? Is it this? Is it? I need some wood. What type of wood is it? But no,
it's
mahogany. Okay. Oh, now dang it! Now my brain's trying to think of a synonym for lock.
So
anyway,
moving on.
The match was good in general. I didn't like how it felt like it was a numbers game against a returning boss man. Yeah. I need a better memory for names, I swear.
While Kale tries to figure that out, we're going to move on to our next segment because backstage, Tavion is chilling and Miles Bourne approaches him to let him know that next week he's got a tag team match against Cam Hendricks and Will Cruz. And Tavion's like, yo, that's what's up, man. Let's do this. And he's like, but I'm teaming up with Tony D'Angelo. And Tavion gets mad and he's like, I bet. This is like, I see how it is. Now that you got championship gold, you think you too good now. It's just like, well, Tavion tells Miles is like, well, I hope Tony has your back like I did all those times, and then just leaves. So I was like, damn, Tavion is sour. I'm kind of here for it. And Miles is like, dude, that's not even what it is. And I was like, this is what happens. Jealousy is a bitch, and it will ruin friendships.
Tavion, jealousy is not a good color on you, my good dude. Although I am enjoying his TikToks that come across my FYP.
Yo, Tavion would be hilarious. I saw one earlier today with him and Ren. It was hilarious, and
I sent it to you.
Yes, I know. So Tavion is getting jealous, but hey,
it's like I get it. I understand. You're trying to turn him heel. That's what it is. And they're trying to heal him, and which would be interesting. I'm interested. I want to see how he goes. I want to see if he goes full crash out, and if like he partners up with crap. Oh crap! Moving on, because
we're in the home stretch, so we're down to the last couple ones, and I'm fading, so we're gonna do this. Alrighty, this was a lot, but Dark State and Vanity Project go back and forth on the mic. We have Osiris and Mr. Country Boy himself. They're like, Cutler over here. They're like, we have a rematch for those tag titles that we never got, and we're catching them in next week. But Osiris and Cutler turn to Saquon and Dion. They're like, you two are going to represent us. You need to get those tag titles back. Otherwise, Darkstay, we're going to have to make some changes up in here, which is forcing them to work together because Dion and Saquon have been at each other's throats. The Vanity Project boys try to jump them, fail miserably, and Darkstay is still standing after that failed attempt. So next week, we are getting Dark State which is going to be Dion Lennox and Saquon Sugars versus the Vanity Project boys. So should be an interesting match.
Why do I want Dark State to win?
Me too. I was like, y'all making me like Dark State, and I hate you for it, but I will take them over the Vanity Project boys any day.
I agree. The Vanity Project boys are doing their job. Yes. I would like to first and foremost say this. Their job is to piss me off and not make me not like them.
And they are doing it successfully.
I fully want to. Good job, boys. But fuck you.
They are very talented in the ring, and they are annoying as hell, and they have done their job successfully. So that is set up for next week. We also got a lot backstage because Robert Stone wants to talk more with Nanaku as one later. Then in the office, we have Will Cruz and Cam Hendricks. Yo, Cam's like, yo, Robert Stone. It's like, I heard we put tag team match. Man, I ain't trying to do all that. And Will Cruz is like, hey, sometimes we need to make noise. So we're okay with this tag team match. So that's happening. Then Tate Wilder comes in and talks about, he got the L, but he's raring to go. He wants more action. And then this is where Keanu Carver walks in and is just like, yo, Robert Stone, what did I tell you? I don't want to do no more sit down interviews. And Robert Stone's like, can't. He's just like, dude, Keanu, your your interview went great last week. And Tate's and Robert Stone turns to Tate and he's like, hey, Tate, you said you want a competition. How about you and Keanu next week? And Tate just looks and he's just like, bet, I'm excited. See you next week. And Keanu is just like, I bet. And then I laughed at this last part though, because Keanu turns to Robert Stone and is just like, does that kid have a death wish? And then we cut, and then that's how the scene ends. And I was like, yes, Keanu, I'm here for that. I was laughing at that part. So there's a lot that went on in this backstage segment.
This
I'm like,
was
Tate's gonna
so.
die.
I'm sorry, Tate, but you signed up for it. Like,
Tate's gonna die next week.
hillbilly, you going to get bye.
Keanu is
Rest
you gonna
in
die.
pieces, because Keanu's going
You
to
gonna
take
die.
you.
It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Can't wait. Like I said, I've been warming up to Keanu, so I'm excited too. Like, if he stays this understated with how funny he is, it's like, does that kid have a death wish? Like,
I need to see more of that. I need to see more of his comedy coming out.
deadpan and be like, all right, bet.
All right, what the fuck?
I'm here for it. So yeah, so we're setting up a lot of things, and that's exactly what is happening next week. So next week, so far confirmed officially, because we got the graphics during the show, we are getting a tag team match where we're going to see Tony D'Angelo and Miles Bourne take on Cam Hendricks and Mason Rook. We are getting an NXT Women's North American Championship, Tatum Paxley defending the title against Lizzie Rain. And we're also getting an NXT Tag Team Championship match, Vanity Project defending their titles against Dark State. So, should be a fun show next week, and I'm looking forward to it. But let's do this. Main event time, Kendall Gray versus Kalani Jordan. And very interesting trajectory for Kalani that we've been taking her in the last couple of weeks. But ultimately, this was a match to serve the purpose because Ren was out here supporting Kendall, and Kalani and Kendall were going back and forth. But then, of course, we got Izzy Dame and Lola Vice coming out, and like everybody be brawling on the outside. Kendall gets worried for Ren, which allows Kalani Jordan to sneak the win for herself. And your winner and victor of this match, due to distraction, is Kalani Jordan.
I did not like this match.
I was a little disappointed. On paper, I was excited, but I was just like, it was okay.
Yeah, it was there was too much. Like the insertion of Lola and Izzy is just.
Let's put it this way: this match was secondary to all the outside of the ring shenanigans.
Exactly. It's like you got the shenanigans going on, and it's like, no, you're overshadowing what should be happening. It's just, it was okay.
This was whack.
But no, it was like, I'm not really impressed with what they're doing with Kalani right now, at least in her character development.
They gotta give her something, man. Like, give her.
I know, but this little bitchy prissy thing.
It's not a good look because, okay, let me put it this way, right? So we're both getting this on NXT. Now you're annoyed with Kalani. I'm less annoyed with it with Kalani because, like, I don't like it, but it's not as annoying as what Ariana Grace has put me through as their TNA Knockouts champion with the same character of being whiny and bitchy and just annoying AF. Her and Stax really took me and the rest of the TNA crew through the trenches for the last month and a half as she was our TNA Knockouts champion. Thank God Laying Lee last week took the title off of her, and now all TNA has all their belts back for now.
Yay.
But let me tell you, Kalani Jordan, I'm not happy with their character direction, but she is not to the level of annoyance of me that Ariana Grace made me. Ariana Grace and Stax made me in TNA. I was just like, no, that is the bar, and Kalani hasn't reached it yet. But If we don't fit something for Kalani, we gonna get there because, like, okay, you mad, but do something about it. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, let's do something because I'm not digging this.
And then
Okay.
Izzy Dame like kicks out Lola with the title as it goes off the air. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, it seems that Izzy. I also don't like how Izzy keeps getting the one up on Lola, whether it is like not in the ring or like the mixed tag team where she ended up losing the match with her Mystery Iguana losing to Izzy and Nico. Um, and I'm almost like, you make Lola look like a weirdo here and making her look like a chump. And then like I'm not and then she gonna beat Izzy eventually. I was just like, that's weird. But whatever. That was our main event. It was outside. This match was secondary to what was going on the outside, and I don't like that. Like I like these two. I think Kendall's great. I think Kalani is great. The match should be the primary focus with the accents of what's going on the ring, but the match itself played secondary to what was going on, and that is how NXT goes off the air this week. So overall, I thought this was a pretty fun episode. I did give it a B for our report card, stating that there was some really fun stuff, including the in-ring debut of Naraku, and then Will and Mason Rook being here, as well as seeing more Cam Hendricks and Tate Wilder, and lots of new international and Evolve folks. And we are setting ourselves up for hopefully what is going to be the summer for NXT of what we're getting. Also, we didn't have a show last week, but I also want to make this announcement here that, in terms of NXT news, NXT PLEs will now officially be on the CW when we get them for the starting this year. So the CW will host the pay-per-views, the PLEs for NXT, and that is all going to be starting with Great American Bash in July, is what they reported. Don't know the date for Great American Bash yet. And I was just like, oh God, here we go. But yeah, so CW is going to have all the PLEs for NXT moving forward, starting with Great American Bash in July. All right. That is going to be it for us here at NXTilosos. We will be back next week to talk about more NXT and see how our matches go, especially our Women's North American Championship, our tag team match of Tony D'Angelo and Miles Bourne versus Cam Hendricks and Mason Rook, as well as our NXT tag team title match with Vanity Project versus the Dark State. We got one more thing for this week. Later on, in about an hour or so, I will be back with Papa Oso, or at least I hope so. We'll see what happens. And we will be talking about some CMLL and talking about our Lucha Libre in Mexico. Oh, while this is not NXT, I can also properly officially announce that we are adding a new promotion into our many plethora rotation, as if we don't already watch enough too. So, Kilt is unfortunately on here by default. I'm just kidding. He has no choice, but he's excited and I'm excited. We both love it. But
The suggestion.
I know you gave me the suggestion, and we're gonna do it because I love you, you bald-headed bastard. Anyways, I am excited, and Kilt and I are going. We can officially announce that we will be starting to cover AAA here at VC Wrestle Pod, and we will be beginning sometime in June by doing a post show for the May show that is having the mask versus mask match between El Grande Americano Original and Grande Americano, as well as whatever matches we get for that show, which I'm excited for. And you will start seeing report cards for AAA coming down the pipeline soon, as now that they're pretty much on Saturdays and it's really easy to watch them on YouTube. Yeah, so I'm excited. So Kilt and I are gonna be having some fun covering AAA and all that good stuff. So you will start to see the post shows for some of the bigger shows this year. So I'm excited. But we got to get up on out of here so I can, go get some water, take a shower, and recover from the sunburnt excursion I had. But thank you so much for tuning in from all of us here at BC WrestlePod. To you at home, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. I'll see you later for CMLL in about an hour and a half. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.
Tea sprinkles.